Hey everybody, welcome back to the video. In this one, we're gonna be learning about JavaScript variables. So before going into the video, I would appreciate you guys liking and subscribing the video and feel free to comment. So let's go into the topic. So basically, as we know, variables are basically used to store some stuff, and it might be string or it might be anything. So it's basically used to store some stuff, and we created these two files in my previous video, which is basically of how you start off with JavaScript, and these are the two files which we're going to be using the most. And if you want another file, we can use the style.css, and that was mentioned in the video too. And if you didn't check the video and you want this, you can just go check it out. It's there in my channel. So I'll recommend you guys checking those one too. And now let's get started. So first we're gonna name our doc type as HTML first, because we want to start off with our HTML document first. And then I'm gonna have my head tag because I want to keep a title. So I'm just gonna keep a title just like that. And then I'm gonna keep the title as, let's just say, JavaScript, because we're basically learning about JavaScript, right? So that's why we're gonna keep like that. And I'm probably gonna separate this with enter button, and there we go. And just like that, we separated that. And then I'm gonna have my body tag, and you don't have to, as I said in my HTML videos, you don't have to, but if you want you can. But that's a good practice for using this so that you can differentiate what is title and what is body. And after that, we can just keep nothing for now in here, because now we're just gonna switch to our JavaScript file, also the index.js file. And inside this file, we're basically just gonna have something called console, and this console is gonna link to this one. So let's just click inspect. So if you don't know how to do it, you're gonna right click, and if you're using a mouse or so, something like that, and then you're gonna click inspect, and then it's gonna take you right here. And this is our HTML document, what we have right here, and we can go see inside that and stuff. So we can basically do whatever we want with this, and you can even change some properties with this and you can do that too. And now we're basically gonna go to our console right here, which is there. And this is basically our console. Is basically gonna link this one to right here. And now we're basically gonna do console log, and this is basically gonna let us write something inside this. So there are basically two ways to put something inside this. And since this video is about variables, we're kind of like going into the print statement and stuff, because there's the basic of how do you like print something and stuff, so kind of like that. And there are basically two ways to write something in there. So you can use your string kind of like this, or you can use your backticks like that. I'll recommend you guys using the backticks because they're a lot easier and that's a lot convenient, I'll say. So we're just gonna use the backticks a lot of times. And then I'm just gonna say hello, and let's just go to our web page, click inspect, and then go to our console. And then it still didn't get for us. Why? Because we are now linking this with our HTML page, because they're two separate documents, right, or files. So that's why we have to link this, and that's why I gave a enter or space basically there. And I'm just gonna write script right here, and then there we go, we're done with that. And this script tag allows us to write some script about some stuff, so it might be anything, you can just write script on that. And then we're gonna have something called source inside the first script tag, also the opening script tag. And inside that, we're basically gonna have the file which we want, which for me it's index.js. If you for you with something else, you can just put that in there. And there we go. Let's reload that, go to inspect, and then we're gonna click our console right there. So as you see, it still appears for us, the JavaScript and thing. If you want, you can change it. So before also seeing that, I'm just gonna change it to lowercase, and it does change right there. So that's what you can do. You can even change this, but they are not permanent. Like if I reload this, it's gonna come back, so it's fine. You can do that for temporary purposes. And then let's click on console. And there we go, we got our hello right here. So if you want, you can also put like the normal string, the kind of thing. So let's just put that hello, and let's delete this real quick and reload this again and again. And let's put inspect console, and it still works for us. So that's basically how you can do this, and that basically just prints us in our console, right? But let's just say you wanted to print in like your HTML document. So let's say you wanted to print like about a variables value and stuff. So first for that we're gonna print a variable value. So for that we have to learn our variable types, or the four types we can create our variables. So there are basically four types of creating our variables. The first one is basically automatic. So I'm gonna be saying these all in after this I mention these. And then the second one is var, also known as var. And then the third one is const, const. And then the fourth one is basically using let. And these are the four ways you can create your variables. So first let's start off by automatic, because that's a lot easier and that's a lot kind of like not secure purposes kind of thing. So let's just put first, basically it's so simple. You're gonna have a variable name, so I'm just gonna put x equals, and then you can put anything you want. So you can put a string or something kind of like that. But since I don't want it to be a string, I'm just gonna put a number like 7, I guess. And there we go. You can give spaces if you want, so that doesn't matter. So that's basically what you can do. It's automatic. But why do you have four types of these, like var, const, and also let? Why do you have four types of these? So basically I'm just gonna comment right here, because this is how you create comments though. And first, automatic. So automatic, and this is gonna make this global, which is basically meaning it's gonna make it to appear to everybody even though you're inside a function. And sometimes we don't even want that, because we don't want the user to see our stuff. So that's basically why we don't most of the time use automatic. And the second one is let. So this let is basically gonna let it or create it, and it can be changed. And let's just write that. And after this we're basically gonna go to const, and this is cannot be changed. It cannot be changed. And there we go. And the last one, which is our var, it's basically kind of like global too, and it's like old browser. So let's just use older browser term, browser. And what I mean by old browser is basically like if your browsers are so old, like, and has not been updated and does use JavaScript, you can have this var. And if no, it's gonna be like kind of bad for you guys, so I don't think so. We don't have to use it, but if you want you can use it, since we are not like uploading this to Google or something kind of like that, but we can use it. And these are the four ways you can create your variables. So first let's start off with automatic. So I'm just gonna give two spaces, x equals, let's just put 7. And there we go. So now let's reload this, and it still doesn't appear anything. So if you want it to appear something, you're gonna use document dot, and then you're gonna use get element by ID. And before going into what we're gonna have right here, I'm gonna switch to my HTML document, because I want to show you guys what should we have inside this. So basically I'm gonna explain until here. So document is our document which we're gonna get, and the ID which we're gonna get from here, which I'm gonna be explaining in a second. So after this we basically want to have a paragraph tag right here. So I'm just gonna put a paragraph tag, because you don't need it to be afterwards, because it's gonna first try to access this. So first we need our paragraph tag to be at the beginning, or it might be even ht tag, it's fine. So I'm just gonna use our paragraph tag right there. And after this we are done with that. But something, there's ID right there, right? But we don't have any ID right here. So to put your ID, you're gonna just type ID right there, and then there we go. And then you're gonna have something. So I'm just gonna say let's just say paragraph or something, or let's just keep it a variable, because since we're learning about variables, so let's just keep variables. And there we go. I'm just gonna copy this because I don't want to write it again there, and let's just do that. And after this we can just keep it blank, because we don't need technically anything inside this, because we want the computer to insert this, or the code for us will be right to insert this. And after getting your document by ID, you're gonna just put your ID in here, and variables, there we go. And after this I'm just gonna use dot innerHTML, or you can also use textContent. like that, and you can just give an equal sign like that, and then you can just put your variable. And for me, let's just see what is it. It's x, so let's go drag right there, and let's just put x right there, and that should be it. So let's reload this. As you see, 7, and that's how this thing works. And basically, why do we even use text content and also inner HTML? So before going into the difference, let's see what does they both do. So first, inner HTML, just like that, and let's reload this. And it still does work, so let me reload this multiple times. See, that does work. So why do we need to use inner HTML and also text content? And they both are important. It doesn't mean like it's off-brand or something kind of like that. So basically, this inner HTML, which we are using, inner HTML, is used because this inner HTML is used to insert some text. So to insert some text, basically, which means if it's blank, you're gonna use this. And this text content, let's just write our text content, and there we go. And this is basically used to overwrite some text. So let's just say you have some text inside this, and to overwrite, or you can also say insert text too, because they both does the same, and but removes the text. And it basically removes the old text, but removes the old text. And that's basically why to use text content. You can just, if you have some inserted text, you can just use text content, and then you can put your variables or something kind of like that, and then you can remove those. And that's basically how you can do it. And now let's perform some arithmetic with our automatic, and we're gonna use y right here plus 7, and let's reload this. And it still comes 7 because we are not using anything. I'm still gonna use inner HTML because I'm inserting some text, and here I'm just gonna use plus y. Let's just reload this. 14, because 7 plus 7 is 14. And that's basically how you can do this. You can multiply this, divide this, or do whatever you want. So we can divide this, I guess, and 1, because 7 divided by 7 is 1, and that's why it just comes like that. And that's basically how you can use this. Now let's go to our second one, which is our let. And I'm gonna say at the end which we're gonna use the most. So let, or constant, or variable. So there are two answers for this. Well, you can stay tuned until the end, watch the video until the end. So first, we're gonna have our let right here. Let x equals 7. Let's reload this, and it still does work. 14, because this is automatic and this is let. That does work. That's fine. And the computer basically just takes the value, so we don't have to worry about that. And then I'm gonna give it let y equals 7, and that's basically how you do it. You can basically have your let right like that. Let x equals 7, let y equals 7. You can change this if you want, so let's just do that. And it's gonna give us 15. There we go. So that's how you can change these. So if you want, you can mess with these or something. So let's just do 14 and 21. So because we're adding it, and you can change that too if you want. And let's just keep back 8 again. And that's basically how you can use let. You can do other things you want. You can even use the text content that really doesn't even matter. So I'm just removing that right there. And let's now we're gonna go to our last, or to say the second from last is our constant. So let's just do const right like that, and then we're gonna use our const right here too. And let's reload this. 15, that does work. So that's how you can do these. And after this, you can also use your text content. You can use your even inner HTML. So now let's see, since we understand mostly about everything, and we're gonna go to where in a second, and since we understand mostly basically kind of everything, what is that like basically the meaning of this part? So basically this document is our document index.html .getElementById, which means we're getting an element called the paragraph tag by the ID of variables right there. And then you're gonna use the type you want, inner HTML or text content. There might be others too, but most of the time these both are the ones you're gonna use. And then you're gonna have an equal sign like that, and then you're gonna insert x plus y or something kind of like that, so you can do that. And that's basically it. And now I'm gonna go to the last one, which is VAR. So let's just go to VAR. And there we go, var, and that does work. So since we are not doing like any big web pages or something, so we can use var. And I would also mention some important topics. So you can normally, like in Python or other languages, like whenever you use the dollar sign, it just comes in here because that does not how it should work. So but this time it doesn't matter. So JavaScript loves dollar signs and everything and stuff, so we don't have to worry about that. And JavaScript is also case sensitive, which means if you have a capital Y like that, let's reload this, and there we go, it removed. 15 is no longer there. And if you, as you see, if you like hover over it, could not find the name Y, did you mean the capital Y? Because that's basically what it's saying. So if you keep capital Y back again, there we go, 15 works. And that's what we just have to learn about these variables. And finally, to learn which is most of the time used, like constant or variables are automatic. And the answer is it might be multiple answers, and it might be depending on what type of browsers you want. So if yours is a global kind of thing, if you want it, it's gonna be automatic and stuff. But normally we basically gonna use constant and the lead most of the times, and we're rarely probably going to use this var than the automatic. So I'll say the automatic is most of the time used than the var, but other than that, let and constant are used most of the time. So that's it for today's video. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.